All right, let's take 3x minus 4y equals 10. X plus 4y equals negative 2. Your goal in this process of elimination is to either eliminate the x or eliminate the y. When do you use this? When you see opposites. It's an automatic. That's the easiest way to do it. But you can use it no matter what two equations you have. You can fix them, which I'll do later. All right, so we're going to take this equation right here and put it underneath so they're lined up. This is where people that are sloppy need to be very careful that everything's lined up. And we're going to add, because this I can see right away is going to eliminate my y. 3x plus 1x is 4x. 10 plus negative 2 is 8. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals 2. So the first part of our answer is a 2. Now let's plug the 2 back in. You can either plug it in here or you can plug it in there. I choose to plug it in the second one because there's no coefficient of x. It's just faster and easier. You can plug it in either one, it should work. So let's take that x plus 4y equals negative 2. That's one of the original equations. And plug in a 2. 2 plus 4y equals negative 2. Subtract 2. 4y equals negative 4. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. Y equals negative 1. That's the answer. You like better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you like this better is because there's opposites. But what happens if we don't have opposites? We make opposites. You can use this for every single one if you're good at multiplying. Okay, let's take one by 3x plus 4y is 18. 2x plus 4y equals 8. What do you think? If I add, I get 5x plus 8y equals 26. Did I eliminate anything? Nope. What can I do? You can change either equation to all negatives. Multiply everything by negative 1. Now you could subtract. And I don't teach subtraction for this reason. What if you have 4x minus 5y equals negative 2, and then you have 6x and minus 5y equals negative 8. What do you get when you subtract those?
What can you add?
What do you get when you subtract them? Huh? I know. Well, no, you wouldn't add. You'd get negative 10. What do you get when you subtract?
If you added the top and the bottom, then you wouldn't get negative 10.
Negative 5 plus negative 5 is negative 10.
No, if you change it to positives.
I'm saying if you don't make a change, what do you do? I'm just asking you to subtract those. What do you get?
6.
It's 6. You know what most kids will put? Negative 10. I don't teach it with subtraction, and if you subtract these, you would get nothing. They'd be gone. If you add them, you get negative 10. My point is, when these negatives come into play, I taught it with subtraction one year, and it was a disaster, even for good students. So I say, never subtract. Even though, look how easy it would be if we subtract. What's 3x minus 2x? 4y minus 4y. 18 minus 8. I'm done. But they're all positive. That makes life easy. and it's not ever going to be all positive very often. So I say, always think I'm going to add no matter what. So before we add, we need to create opposites. You can either make the top one negative, or you can make the bottom one negative. I always choose the top, so I don't have to rewrite everything. Because if I make this one all negative, in other words, multiply by -1, oops, then I can just write it underneath. Multiply that by -1, I get -3x. Multiply that by -1, -4y, and -18. Now let's add. That gives me x, which is negative. That gives me nothing for y. And that gives me -10. Divide both sides by -1. X is 10. Now let's put that 10 back in here or here. Which one you want me to put them in? Doesn't matter. This one? Okay, that's 2 times 10 plus 4y, looks like it's 16, equals 8. That's 20 plus 4y is 8. Take 20 away. 4y is -12. Y is -3. Answer, 10, -3. Doesn't matter which one you plug it into, you'll get the same answer. All right, let's do another one. Basically, if you see any x or y that are the same coefficient, make one of them negative. If they're opposites, you don't have to do anything. And then I'll show you a hard one, okay? Okay, let's take, oh wait, got some good ones here. All right, what do I do here? Y plus 3x equals -2. -3x equals -2y plus 14. What's wrong with this one? Huh?
Can't line it up.
You can't line them up. So why don't you put this one in standard form? In other words, add 2y to both sides. Plus 2y plus 2y. All right. So then, after I add 2y to both sides, I get 2y -3x equals 14. They have to be in standard form for this to work. All right, do we have opposites? We sure do. If you have opposites, add. How many y's do we have? 3. Nothing, and 12. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Y is 4. Take either equation, I'm going to use that one. Y plus 3x equals -2. And I'm going to substitute this 4 in for y. Because right now we have a y. Don't put it first. A lot of people mess that up. This is the y, so we're looking for x. Okay, 4. Subtract 4 from both sides. 3x is -6. Divide by 3, x is -2. Don't get them backwards. X is -2, y is 4. Questions? All right, now I'm going to challenge your brain, all right? I think you can do this. What will you do with this one? We do not have opposites. Multiplying by a -1 doesn't give me an opposite. What should I do? Any insight? Why not? We want opposites. You can make your x's opposite, you can make your y's opposite. It doesn't matter. But how can I create an opposite situation? Joel's the only one who knows what to do. What's the matter, Savon? Stassi?
You would multiply 2x plus y by, or the whole top equation by positive 3, or negative 3.
Negative 3. Look what she did. There's a positive 3 here. She wants a negative 3 here. You can do that as long as you multiply everything by negative 3. What's another choice? Joel? You can multiply bottom by positive 2. That would make a negative 2x. Okay, let's use Stassi's way since she went first. We're going to multiply everything by negative 3. So we're going to get negative 6x, negative 3y, negative 9. That's gone, and look what we have. We have opposites. Now you can do it. So the multiplication method is you just have an extra step. All right, so we have negative x, negative 6x, that's negative 7x, equals negative 21. Divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7, x is 3. Plug 3 back in here or here. I wouldn't plug it into the one you created in case you created it wrong. Okay? So 2x plus y equals 3. Plug this in for x. 6 plus y equals 3. Subtract 6. Y is negative 3. So our final answer, 3, negative 3. You plug it in, it's going to work for both of them. That's where they intersect. Okay, I want you to try one on a scrap piece of paper before I really blow your mind with a really hard one.
Why do we have to learn so many different ways and have solved?
Because some ways are better than others.
Well, then why can't we learn the better way first?
If I have y equals something, and I have y equals something, why would I want to use elimination? All I would do on that one is substitute and make that equal to that. Simple, fast, go. If I have opposite 3y and positive 3y, I'm going to use elimination. If I have a bunch of fractions that when I use elimination I have to deal with fractions, when I use substitution I have to deal with fractions, I'm going to graph. That's why.
Okay.
You know, you're going to get to use any method you want on a few of the questions on your test. But I'll steer you towards the easier way on most of the test. I'll say, do elimination, do substitution. In Algebra 2, no one's going to tell you which way to use. They're just going to say, find the answer. And you get to decide. Okay? And all of this is going to a story problem. Next week, a whole page of story problems. Every one of them will cause a system. But you know what? They're not that hard to write. They really aren't. I don't know why the nickel and dime and quarter thing's driving you crazy. I thought those were the easy ones. All right. Y plus 3x equals negative 2. 2y minus 3x equals 14. Find the ordered pair where these two lines intersect. Now, think about graphing. Would you really want to go solve for y and graph this? No. Would you want to use substitution? No. This is a perfect example of, oh, I want to use elimination. I like elimination for all of it, but fractions don't bother me. Are you working?
I was just kidding.
You're on camera. Are you working?
I was.
The whole world is watching.
Okay, that's cool.
Maggie maybe wants some gum. Get you some gum. Hannah, add them. Okay. You look like you were stumped. Siobhan, you done? Oh, you're just gonna sit there, Siobhan? Great. You know you're not just finding y. You gotta plug it in to find x. Your answer is an ordered pair. And Siobhan's going to talk us through it as soon as he's done. Yeah, you weren't doing it, so you're going to talk us through it.
You're right.
What's the, how many packs of gum do you go through?
Pack a day.
Pack a day?
I like gum. If you're at home, you can fast forward. You don't know how to do it?
No, I forget. No, yeah, I agree. No.
Somehow, what's the answer?
Hold on. Give me about 2 more seconds.
You got the answer?
I don't know.
What's your answer?
I have the y.
I don't want just a y, it's too easy.
Why?
Yeah, I have the Y, I can't find the X.
Put it back in the
Negative
equation.
14 over 3.
I did.
Huh?
I got negative 14 over 3.
What'd you get?
I just want to know if this looks right.
Just tell me what you got.
I got -4 and +2.
What'd you get?
I got 2 and 4.
Which one's which?
X is 2, Y is 4.
I got
-2, 4.
I got 12 for
I got
I hear 4 different answers already.
Negative 2, 4.
I got -2, 4. Yeah.
Darcy?
I got +4, -2.
I got 12.
It's negative.
Saban, what should I do?
Okay, first you gotta add 2y plus the y,
And get?
3y,
Oh,
and
whoops.
then your x's cancel out,
Okay.
and then you get 3y is equal to 12, and then divide by 3, and then you get y is equal to 4.
Okay, so we know already. You know, as soon as you get either the x or the y, why don't you make an ordered pair with a blank? So you don't get them in the wrong spot. Sounds like some of you had them backwards.
I just thought like it'd be negative. It's like the 2 is negative. So I just like.
If you go 14 to the right and only 2 back, you're not going to be in a negative zone. Here you go. It's 14 degrees outside, and it dropped 2. Or it's -2, which is more like this morning, and it's going to go up 14 degrees.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
I saw it, I did wrong. On the 3x equals -6, and then I put like the 3 under. I'm solving for x first. And,
You can solve for x, but as soon as you add, it's gone.
wait, what did I do then? I don't know, but I got the right answer.
All right, y is 4. So I'm going to take the first equation and put in a 4. Erase it and put a 4. Subtract 4, subtract 4. 3x is -6. Divide by 3. X is -2.
Got it.
I got that on my second attempt.
Got it on the first attempt.
All right, let's try another one. Oh, how much time do I have?
I don't know.
You can average
5,
26, I think.
6,
So 26.
I want to show you. I want to show you a hard one first before I have you try one. Don't do this one. I'm just going to talk you through it. What are you gonna do?
I thought you were gonna.
Multiply by what?
Make the y equal.
If I multiply by -1, I don't have opposites.
Multiply by 2 on the bottom one.
Multiply by -3.
Negative 3 on the top.
Okay, there's more than one choice. In fact, there's 4 choices. I can multiply the bottom by 2. Look what happens if I multiply the bottom by 2. That gives me -2x, 6y, multiplying by 2, -24. Opposites. I could have multiplied by -3 and gave me opposite y's. I could have multiplied by, what else? Huh? What? Any other choices? Oh, what about this one?
Multiply by -3. -3 on the bottom, yeah. On the bottom.
If I multiply by -3 on the bottom, That's-
That would be opposites.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Could you do like 5 on the, multiply like 5 on the top and like -3 on the bottom?
Yes. Let me just give you x's, for example. If I have a 2x on the top, let's just concentrate on the x's. And I have a 4x, no. Be quiet. And I have a 7x on the bottom. And I want them to be opposites. What could I do? No, these aren't fractions. They're not fractions.
Multiply the top by 7 and the bottom by -2.
Yes. Take the top time, is that what you meant? All right. Take the top times 7, and that's going to give me 14. And take the bottom times -2, and that'll give me -14. You multiply them both to create opposites. Hannah, you don't get it?
What? No,
Oh, okay.
it's just like.
Well, you just, all right, so sometimes you're going to have to multiply them both. On your homework tonight, you don't have to do anything that hard. We're going to save that for Monday. That's just your little preview. You got 8 for homework, and you can multiply them all by either a -1 or nothing. Just so, you can turn that off, just so you know, I